Hey, what's going on, guys? Aaron here. Welcome to the video. So Paul Tudor Jones recently said, or actually yesterday, he said that he would own Bitcoin, crypto, and the NASDAQ. I want to go over what he said right here. This is on CNBC. He shared this yesterday live. He's one of the most successful hedge fund owners with an $8 billion plus net worth. I want to play what he said and then share my commentary, and then I'm going to finish off with what's going on in the entire market.
What would I want to have? I'd want to have a combination of gold, crypto, probably the NASDAQ. Feels exactly like 1999. I don't know whether we'll actually replay it exactly, but I think all the ingredients are in place.
So first off, right, gold, crypto, and the NASDAQ. That's what he said, and he'll get into a little bit more later in the video.
Certainly from a trading standpoint, you have to position yourself like it's October 99. I don't see why you would do anything but that. And remember, the NASDAQ doubled between the first week of October 99 and March of 2000.
And this is what he's talking about. So October 99, 2450, and then March of 2000, 4800. So yeah, we doubled in the course of, 5-6 months from end of 99 to the beginning of 2000.
The greatest price appreciation is always the 12 months preceding the top.
The greatest price appreciation is always the 12 months before a top, right? So that's the hard part. We don't want to miss out on the parabolic kind of explosive top that Paul Tudor Jones is going to talk about, but we also have to be positioned in the right assets and also recognize when things are getting way overheated and way too frothy.
Market, it kind of doubles whatever the annual average is and before then. So if you don't play it, right, you're missing out on the juice. If you do play it, you have to have really happy feet because there will be a really, really bad end to it. And my guess is that I think all the ingredients are in place for some kind of a blow-off. Will it happen? Again, history rhymes a lot, so I would think some version of it is going to happen again. Right. If anything now is so much more potentially explosive than 1999. 1999, we were looking at a rate hike in November. Now we're looking at a rate cut. We were looking at 4 more rate hikes before we actually topped in 2000. Now we're looking at 3 or 4 rate cuts, probably at least. So
yeah, big differences between 99, 2000 to where we are right now. We had rate hikes in 99, and we're leading into 2 cuts for the end of the year this year, and probably a lot more cuts next year, especially if Trump gets his person in the Fed. So there could be a bigger explosive top, what Paul Tudor Jones is saying, than actually what happened in 99, 2000.
You have monetary policy that's going to take us to real rates of 0 or less, probably, depending upon the next Fed chair. And then the big difference is, obviously, fiscal policy. We had a budget surplus in 99, 2000. Now we've got a 6% budget deficit. So that combination, that fiscal monetary combination, is a brew that we haven't seen since, I guess, the post-war period, early 50s, something like that. And that was crazy times, right, coming out of the war.
So I just want to pause the video really quick. I want to go finish this. We got another 2 minutes or so. I actually want to pause and talk about the sponsor of today's video, which I'm super pumped about, and I want to dive into that right now. If you're in crypto, you know that privacy is incredibly important, and also the importance of protecting your phone number from SIM swap hacks. People have lost millions of dollars through SIM swap hacks, a lot of them in the crypto space. It is very, very common to see this happen. And that leads me right to Cape, which is America's privacy-first mobile carrier. They collect the absolute minimum amount of your personal information, and also they delete that information and they never sell your data. And this is how they protect us from getting SIM swapped. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a hacker can take over your number and then they can use your phone number to get into all of your accounts, like your bank accounts, crypto accounts, email, social media, everything. And this is where Cape comes in. There are no humans in the picture, so nobody can be bribed to give your phone number away. And the cool part is, and if you're in crypto, this will make a lot of sense, when you sign up with Cape, you get a 24-word phrase. Yeah, a 24-word phrase similar to when you get a hardware wallet. And if you transfer your phone number to a new device or carrier, you have to provide this 24-word phrase. So it's literally impossible to get SIM swapped because some person working at some big carrier cannot give your phone away to somebody impersonating you. And they have premium nationwide 5G and 4G coverage. They have all sorts of signaling protection so people can't intercept your calls and texts, encrypted voicemail, and also super cool if you're into privacy and anonymity, you can pay privately. We don't collect your name or billing address at checkout. Super, super cool, right? So Cape is currently in beta, but right now you can get 33% off of 6 months if you use my link, which is in the video description. So if you take your crypto security seriously, start with your phone. Use my link below to get 33% off your first 6 months, and make sure to use the code Bennett33 to get that discount. All right, so we are back. Let's finish this interview with Paul Tudor Jones.
Most people who are watching us now, you need to be in this market now. But then the question, as I said, is you have to jump off the train before the train crashes. If you're suggesting the train is going to crash.
I'm not suggesting the train's going to crash. I'm suggesting that we're in a period that's conducive for massive price appreciation in a variety of assets. Will it happen or not? I don't know.
So he's saying that he doesn't believe the train is going to crash, right? But he's saying that there's going to be a lot of appreciation in a lot of asset classes. And again, what he said, gold, crypto, which he didn't specify, which cryptos he likes. He has talked about Bitcoin a lot before, so definitely that one. Not quite sure about altcoins for him. And then we got the NASDAQ.
If you kind of just look, if you just think about the leverage that we had in 1999, you look at margin debt. And then you look at today, margin debt, but you have to throw in leverage ETFs because people don't use margin like they did back then. We're probably a little more elevated than we were in October of 99. It will take a speculative frenzy for us to elevate those prices, right? It will take more retail buying. It'll take more recruitment from a variety of from long-short hedge funds, from real money, et cetera. It'll take a combination of those things. It's not going to go up without flows and without a story. The story's there. It's the combination of the most unique and aggressive fiscal and monetary conditions that we've ever seen. The biggest winners are gold. I think it's up 46, 47%. Bitcoin, I want to say it's up 50 or 60. I'm not even sure. Crypto, digital gold, that's obviously something that's very, very appealing.
Yeah, so crypto digital gold, right? He didn't say Bitcoin in this interview. And it looks like this was actually from a few weeks ago because the price was 124K. Nonetheless, still applicable. It was just a few weeks ago.
I mean, you're jumping on all of that right now?
Well, I'd want to have positions in all of it, for sure.
So Paul Tudor Jones, worth $8.1 billion per Forbes, said that he would want to have a position in everything he's talking about, in crypto, in the NASDAQ, and in gold.
Again, we have this race.
Right.
The race, realistically, is certainly to the end of the year because that's when everyone marks institutionally. And then you have to figure out what's going to go on in next year. So what would I want to have? I'd want to have a combination of gold, crypto, probably the NASDAQ.
Yeah, all right. Gold, crypto, NASDAQ. He says it's going to go definitely to the end of this year, but we'll see, right? Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. And it's such an interesting time, right? Because taking a look at Bitcoin right here, it's just been so freaking boring for so long, right? Bitcoin has been range bound for a while, going back all the way to May. If I take a look at the 1 day right here, going back all the way to May, we haven't closed a day less than 100K. So, we've been in this range for a while, kind of this plus or minus 20K or so. And taking a look at Solana, we've been in this range of around 140 to 250 for a while. Going back to August, we've been in this range 150 to 240, just kind of chilling, consolidating. And a lot of other coins as well, XRP, right? We've just been chilling in this range. You can see here, going all the way back to the beginning of the year, or almost a year ago, we've been more or less in this exact same range. So we hit a low or a wick down to $1.50, but more or less it's been around, $2 or so to a high of around 350. But the spring for the entire crypto market cap has been coiling, right, for quite a while. So taking a look here at the total crypto market cap, we're higher than the last time I made a video on this. So gotta lift this a little bit. Definitely hit a good wick pretty high. This is gonna be monthly candles, 4.26 trillion. But yeah, I mean, we have just been building for quite a while. So Paul Tudor Jones thinks we're going to see a blow off top. He thinks we're going to see some massive euphoria come into the market. He gave some examples of what could cause that, but I think a lot of us will know. I mean, if Bitcoin blasts to 150, 200K in a matter of a week, that would be a sign, right? But a lot of people think that, if Bitcoin goes to 200K, it's going to go to 2 million. It's just a matter of time because the higher it goes, the more validity it has. But the downside is that Bitcoin is still highly correlated with the NASDAQ. And that is something that cannot be ignored. If we see the NASDAQ pull back, say 20%, we could see Bitcoin go down quite a lot more, like 40, 50%. Taking a look at the NASDAQ when it hit its peak end of 2021 to its low, it was down around 36% or so. But as long as you just held and didn't sell, we are up a heck of a lot more. And that is the name of the game. Your time preference and time horizon is super important, right? If you're day trading, it's one thing. If you're investing for multiple years at a time, it's another. So that is it for today's video, guys. Let me know your thoughts below. Let me know what you think of what Paul Tudor Jones said. Do you think that crypto, gold, and the NASDAQ are just good to hold to the end of the year? Do you think this is going to go well into 2026? I feel like he's right. I feel like we are going to see some insane euphoric top, and there is going to be a sizable pullback. It's just impossible to time it. I mean, I remember going back to 2020, I remember talking to people and they were like, oh man, I'm 100% in cash because it's just too scary. And this was like maybe June of 2020. And if I had the ability to reach out to this person, I'd be like, so did you ever get back into the market, or are you still in cash 5 years later because it was too scary then? A lot of people got terribly freaked out in 2020. They sold everything at a loss or after the market went down 20%. And now they're totally screwed because, if they buy in now, they lost a ton of gains, right? I shouldn't say they're screwed, but they really missed out. So whatever happens, it just depends on your time horizon. But yeah, euphoric tops may happen. I'll keep you guys posted on what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. But I hope you guys are doing well. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.